Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sportscage. Streaming Sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Let's go, Saskatchewan. We're going into the weekend. It's the all-new Sportscage. We're here for the next 2.5 hours. Barney Shinkaruk, Derek Bidwell, Colson, Curtis on the production side. We got it all wrapped up for you. Busy show, no doubt about it. Hockey. We got football of all varieties and a whole lot more. Right off the hop, we're going to be joined, if you caught the news, on sportscage.com. It is a big one in the hockey world. Regina Pats forward Braxton Whitehead, he has committed to Arizona State, and he's challenging the NCAA rule. We're going to be joined by Greg Wyshynski, senior writer from ESPN, in moments. We're going to talk about the Regina Pats playing in the Brandon Wheat Kings this evening as they get set to wrap up their preseason in the next couple days here. U of R Rams, big game against UBC this weekend, right here at home. The 2-0 Regina Rams. Tarek Pelias from the Rams is going to join us in hour two. Bidsy and I are going to go through the NFL docket for this week and also talk about the unfortunate news for you Miami Dolphin fans and Tua Tagovailoa. CFL this weekend, only 3 games. We'll get into that. Stephen Smith from the Regina Thunder. He's going to join us. Thunder in action this weekend at home. And then to finish it off in hour 3, the abbreviated hour 3, Bidsy, we got a great conversation coming up with Matt Dominguez, former rider Matt Dominguez. It's going to be a lot of fun. Bidsy, we're back at it here today. It's interesting. It's kind of got that feel around Regina anyway today, that cooler weather, that hockey weather, and kind of the bombshell this morning that everyone woke up to. If you know the hockey and how Major Junior and NCAA and everything works, kind of big news.
Yeah, indeed. And it does feel like that, that fall weather, if you will. Yeah, it is here too. The leaves haven't started falling yet, as you know, but man, it is feeling like it is that time of year when it's right around the corner and hockey season is upon us. So yeah, big news there. It's really going to change, I would think, how young players decide where they're going to play. I mean, it's going to be big news with the SJHL and the WHL.
Yeah, we're going to get to some SJHL preseason too. We'll tee that up. But let's go out on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. It's Friday. Why cook? Perfect night for all that generous goodness that Western Pizza does, whether it's the Greek food or the pizza. We are joined by Greg Wyshynski, senior writer from ESPN, that had it this morning. Everybody in the hockey world woke up to it. Greg, thanks so much for taking some time. It involves the Regina Pats and a player, so it's only fitting you're on a Regina sports show, right?
Exactly, yeah. No, this was an interesting one. I broke it this morning. Braxton Whitehead, he's a forward for the Pats, has a verbal commitment for the 2025-26 season from Arizona State University. It's a D1 program here in the States. And why that's very interesting is because the NCAA has eligibility rules that prevent any player who has appeared in a major junior hockey game from playing college hockey. And Whitehead's played, 4 years of it. So, as of right now, he wouldn't be able to play the 2025-26 season. But the wrinkle here is that, one, there's been a lot of forward momentum in the NCAA to try to get that restriction lifted. It's a bit archaic. It's a relic from the 1980s. And two, the NCAA was hit with a proposed class action suit this summer that sought to overturn the rule based on antitrust violation. So, he's doing it at the right time. ASU is doing it at the right time. He's the first to try it. And I think it won't be the last based on what we're hearing.
Okay, so with the lawsuit and everything, if we're playing an odds game, I'm a big odds guy. I love gambling. What are the chances that this is going to go through and he's actually going to play NCAA hockey, do you think?
I would put it at like 60%, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if I'd go any higher than that, because you still have some coaches and some people in the NCAA that don't necessarily want to lift this restriction. But, I was talking to some sources last night when I was reporting this out, and they were telling me that college programs are budgeting for their scouts to spend more time with CHL teams. It's clear that this is the first of what could be more than a few of these types of commitments with an eye towards the restrictions being lifted. But to pull it back, I mean, like I said, the reason I'm at 60% is that you do have some NCAA coaches who don't want to see the pressure point of a young player having to decide between Canadian Junior and the NCAA taken off the table. So, like, for example, somebody mentioned Macklin Celebrini to me the other day. He had to decide as a young player whether he wanted to play in college and attend college and play in college for Boston University, or to take another route. And the other route would have prevented him from ever playing for a college team. Without that, pressure point, without that decision having to be made, there's some fear in the NCAA that while the faucet will be open to get a whole new level of talent from Canadian Junior coming in, those high-end guys, those star players, the ones that get you to tune in to watch the Frozen Four, might not be in the NCAA if they don't have that pressure point.
Yeah, and we have the SJHL here, the MJ's close, even the North American League. Right? We see that those kids that are playing Junior A hockey, and then the route is to NCAA. So it is a little bit of a shift if it happens. Now, why, if you can give us maybe a look behind the curtain, and like you said, you broke this story, why Braxton Whitehead? Like, he's from Alaska. Does he have, a legal family member that knows that this can be pushed through? Is there a connection to ASU? Why him?
Well, first of all, he's always had a thing for college hockey growing up in Alaska, because he grew up, with a couple of college programs there. The way he explains it, and again, there might be something behind the scenes that we're all not privy to as far as how this whole thing got rolling. But the way he explains it is that once he saw the lawsuit happen, which was it was filed in August, and it became kind of pretty big news at that point. That really was sort of the spark for him. And so he started to kind of like take a little bit of agency and send out some letters to Division I programs, seeing if maybe there was anybody who'd be interested in attempting this. Arizona State University is the correct college to send this kind of request to. Not only was it one that he was hoping to attend, if you've ever been to ASU, you probably know why. It's beautiful there. And, of course, they do have an arena that, I mean, my goodness, housed an NHL team for a few years in Mullet Arena. But they are also kind of a maverick program. I mean, they're the only D1 men's hockey program in the Western United States. Their coach, Greg Powers, is notorious for being kind of a forward-thinking guy. So I think ASU liked the idea of trying to push the envelope here and do something a little bit out of the ordinary. And obviously Whitehead was desirous to try to commit to an NCAA program, with this being his last season in the WHL.
Hey, Greg, what do you think the biggest pushbacks will be? Where will they come from? Will they come from other leagues that are worried that this could affect players coming to their league now, that they are now going to be able to choose the NCAA, or they could bounce back and forth possibly, maybe kick the tires in the CHL and then decide if it's not worth it for them, or if they would rather then bounce to the NCAA?
Yeah, there's some concerns on both sides. I was talking to the commissioner of the WHL last night for the story, and I was like, well, what are the risks here for Canadian junior hockey? And obviously the risks are that some of the talent that you have in those programs for multiple years might then have the opportunity to jump to the NCAA at some point, which obviously isn't an option on the table for them now. So, there is a fear maybe that the overall talent pool could be a little bit diluted in Canadian junior. And then, like you said, for the NCAA, their concern is about those high-end talents. And, it does offer up a chance for some schools to, the rich to get really rich. It is also a situation where some of these players we're talking about are going to be, 22, 23 years old playing college hockey against, 18-year-olds and that kind of thing too. So there's a lot of concerns on the table on both sides. But again, when you really break it down, the rule exists to try to keep quote unquote pro players from playing amateur hockey. Like that's why the rule exists. And it kind of falls apart when you start to, one of the things that I think both ASU and Braxton Whitehead mentioned was the name, image, and likeness rules that have now allowed players to get paid. I mean, that wasn't in place when this rule was implemented. You have Olympic swimmers and other Olympic athletes making money hand over fist and then going back and competing for colleges. Yeah. I mean, I think one of the Boston College of Ball, I think it was Boston University, had a player that played 2 games professionally in Sweden on their men's team. So, I mean, it's the walls are crumbling when it comes to this separation between amateur status and pro status, and I think that there's a lot of recognition that maybe the rule should change because of that.
Yeah. Do you think that this we could see a snowball effect pretty quick here? And then second part to that, do you think a lot of the traditional schools, the traditional NCAA hockey powers are maybe going to stay away from it for a while? Like the Boston, you mentioned Boston College, BU, all the traditionals and ASU being a bit of a trailblazer here. Do you think it's going to snowball?
I think it will. I mean, like I said, you have schools that are already budgeting to have more scouting up in Canada of players. I think that when you have 1 or 2 schools looking at this situation and saying that the rules could potentially change within the next 2 years, you're going to have schools and programs that clearly don't want to be on the outside looking in if that does happen. I don't know where the traditional powers are. I mean, I think that when it comes to the pipeline of talent, they're obviously going to want to be in that mix. They're obviously want to improve their teams as much as they can and not be at any kind of competitive disadvantage. But, the interesting balance here, like we've been talking about, is you're almost betting on a future. It's like this thing is not set in stone. It's not concrete. They've talked about it already this year at the NCAA level, and the coaches decided not to take any action on it. So now, granted, the class action suit does kind of reshape the landscape a little bit. I think it kind of spooked them a little bit, and I do think that some of the coaches in the NCAA believe that there is a vulnerability there for the NCAA and the programs that were mentioned in that class action suit because of the fact that it probably does violate antitrust laws. But until this restriction is lifted, I don't think anybody is really clear on, what the short-term future is for the CHL NCAA setup.
Okay, last one for me. So, do you think there is a legit fear from the CHL and these clubs that their league will become watered down? You touched on it a little bit there, that these guys may choose to go that route, to go to the NCAA route? Or do you see what might be a little more popular is that maybe some younger players will play in the CHL until they're 16, 17, maybe 18. If they aren't going to make the jump to the NHL or they aren't going to get that draft selection, then maybe they will enter the university league a little bit earlier and go the NCAA route. How do you see this? That if it goes through, that's how it'll play out?
Yeah, I think that second option is what they're looking at. The WHL, for example, was sort of celebrating the idea of Braxton Whitehead having played out his career with the Pats, and then goes on to play NCAA hockey, having not been drafted by an NHL team, and I think for the most part, that's kind of the scenario they see. The opportunity, the chance to play in Canada, to have the junior hockey experience, I think is something that they feel like a lot of players aren't going to have to give up. And in this case, they can have their cake and eat it too. They could play Canadian junior for a few seasons and then make the leap to the NCAA if that's kind of what they want to do, both from an education standpoint and then obviously from a hockey standpoint if they think it's going to better their chances to attract, an NHL team, for example. So I think it's that option B that you mentioned is what at least some of these leagues are looking at versus being scared that all of a sudden their product is going to become too watered down.
Well, Greg, fascinating story. Good job breaking that this morning. Obviously, a lot of ties to Saskatchewan, where we are here now. I got a quick little trivia question. Do you know one of the last players to play both CHL and NCAA back in 1979-80?
Well, I was 2, so I don't. No, I do not know who was it.
It's general manager of the Las Vegas Golden Knights, Kelly McCrimmon, from right here in Saskatchewan. Yeah, so there's you can put that one in there. You can ask McCrimmon if you ever interview him about it.
Well, of all the people I could think of that might be able to have worked the system to do that, Kelly McCrimmon would definitely be at the top of my list as guys that could figure out a way to work the system.
Brandon Wheat Kings and Michigan Wolverines. All right, Greg, thanks so much. I know you're a busy guy. Great story, and hopefully we get to catch up with you again.
Much appreciated. Thanks.
Right on. From ESPN senior writer Greg Wyshynski. Yeah, Bidsy, it's a wild, and if people don't, they're not maybe hockey-centric, and hockey isn't a big deal in their lives, they're going to be like, don't know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, what's the big deal with this? But hockey parents, it'll be a hot button topic for sure. And young players.
Hockey parents, major junior programs, junior A, the SJHL programs, AJ, MJ, all this stuff. It's going to be big. And I think, when you asked your question, if someone was asking me how I think this is going to shake out, like you said, he figures about a 60% chance that that Braxton plays NCAA in, I guess, a year from now or a little over a year from now. I think there's going to be a lot of pushback for the reasons he said. And then if it does happen, when the question that you asked, I think we're going to see a lot of kids playing that major junior 17, 18, 19, and then going. It's almost having your cake and eating it too, which I think is one of the stupidest terms ever. But that's the reason a lot of kids don't play CHL, because they have their mind set on scholastics or playing Division I college hockey, which is amazing. If you've ever gone to a game and it's a weekend game and you're flying to your games and you got high school or you got college bands and all that, like, it is a spectacle. And a lot of kids want to play that. Whereas the major junior, there's a massive draw there as well. So if you can do both, I don't know. I think if it happens in our time and we go back to that, because like I said, Kelly McCrimmon, when we had him on the Monday Nooner podcast, we talked to him about that. He was one of the last players that, before they implemented that rule where Greg talked about, was in the 80s, and he said it's a little bit archaic, but it's always been in place. And then he mentioned the kid from Sweden, and that was one that really, ruffled some feathers down there. And it's like, well, technically he's played in Sweden. It's been playing pro hockey, and then the name, image, likeness now out there. Like, I don't know how the case could be defeated, because it's like, okay, well, the kid down the hall that plays football just made $3 million, and you're going to tell me this kid can't play hockey because he made $250 a month as a allowance, or call it what you want.
Stipend,
yeah.
Yeah, no, there's a whole bunch of implications, as you said. Another one would be university hockey programs, right? Because, well, first of all, I think I want to get, you're a theme T guy. I know not everybody can see us right now if they're not streaming, they're on the radio, but you got a Cash Willie Nelson one going right now too. Yeah. I'm going to get you one that says, have your cake and eat it too. I think that'll be something coming for you down the road.
Yes. It's right after the Dave Thomas one. Don't be bitter, be better. I'm
be
getting
better.
That one. But that story,
my last point on this, so I was just going to say, is this that having your cake and eating it too? I think if I was a young hockey player, I would want to do that. So I would want to play, for example, I'm in Saskatoon, so the Blades, if you're in Regina, the Queen City, the Pats, I would love to play for my hometown team for a couple of years when I'm younger, while I'm still in high school. If I don't get the call to the NHL, I'd love to then, when I am university age or college age, graduated high school, then I'd like to go down to the universities and play there too. So have both.
The one that I wish I would have asked Greg this now, because he's so tied into the hockey community. if this does play out the way people are thinking or the way that it could, the one thing, and if people are out there listening right now that are tied into hockey, and I know there's a bunch of people I know listening, what will really be interesting is the Ivy League schools, which you have to keep, to get into them, you have to, your GPA and your SATs got to be at a level, and then you have to maintain that. So how many major junior, because, hey, let's be honest, when you go play major junior hockey, there are a lot of smart kids. There's a lot of, education is a big thing. And then on the other side, it isn't. They're on the bus so much. They're traveling so much. It's a different life. And then a lot of them do go to the U of S's and all that after. And then that's when now schooling, now I'm taking this a little bit serious. Sure. And people out there don't get all offended that WHL, no, but it's just a lot of traveling. You're playing a ton of games. Anybody I know that played in the Western Hockey League, like schooling it's hard. It's a grind. And I know the Pats now have a great job. I think they do it all at the Brandt Center. Back in the day, like your buddies with Rhett Warner and the guys in Saskatoon, they'd have to. They weren't
getting any offers to the Ivy League schools.
No, they were like, they're going to Marion Graham and, for however many hours a day. And then they're getting in their vehicles and they're driving to Sask Place and practicing. Yeah. And it's a grind. So, yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. Again, the story is up on sportscage.com. If you want to check it out, we'll take a quick break. If you're watching us on the streams from sportscage.com or on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Sherwood Co-op Liquor Stores. Now open in Harbor Landing and Rochdale Boulevard. Rider Nation, the all-new Sports Cage is bringing you Cooperators Rough Rider football like never before. Now, for every home game, you can watch the Rider Radio live stream on our Sports Cage YouTube channel. Saturday, September 28th, the Riders take on the Red Blacks. The live stream starts at 10 with Countdown to Kickoff brought to you by Croft Electric. And we wrap up the game with a Sports Cage Radio Roundtable brought to you by McDougall Auction. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. And don't miss a minute of our Rider Radio live stream.
What type of vehicle should you use for a fall hayride?
I bet you're going to be punny.
An automobile?
Ugh. Whatever type of vehicle you drive, fuel up at Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
As a member, fueling up means
sharing in the equity.
Buy a car wash or some snacks from the C-store.
It's like putting money in the bank.
You better believe it.
Sherwood Co-op gas bars.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
We're here with a local grower talking about a game changer. Brett Young's 7204 Liberty Link canola.
Yeah, we wanted a straight cut canola with strong standability and pod shatter tolerance. We like having next generation club root protection too. And that's why we chose 7204.
And there you have it. Harvest is heating up here, folks. And BY 7204LL, Brett Young's newest Liberty Link canola hybrid, is pulling ahead. Talk to your retailer today.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every game, home or away. And don't wait for the last minute. Get in on the amazing early bird prizes. Everything raised is used to support minor football in Saskatchewan. Support a great cause and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Sponsored by ISC.
In town, at the cabin, or on the farm. Only one rural internet provider brings you a whole home solution. Access Rural Internet now offers download and upload speeds up to 350 megs for one low price. Plus, keep entertained with Access Next TV Stream and keep an eye on your home and property with Access Rural Security, each for just $14.95 a month extra. Get more from your rural internet service. Visit myaccess.ca today.
The government just asked us to save the world. They'll do it. They've made a few requests, so they want you to bring back floppy disks, pet rocks, and they all want Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Well, that last one we can do.
You don't want to miss a thing. That's why at Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer, they have so much to offer, like SaskTel wireless internet. Contact Glassers TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today.
Hey, it's Brendan from Windsor Plywood. We're into September, which means summer vacations are in the books. Now it's time to get back to work. We have tons of varieties of exotic woods in stock and ready for your projects. Are you looking to update your kitchen or bathrooms? Check out our cabinet plywood that will fit any style or taste. Don't forget, if you still have some outdoor projects to get cleaned up this fall, we have wood or composite decking, railing, and tons of exterior and interior doors in stock. It's all right here. Come see us today at Windsor Plywood in Regina, just off the Ringer.
At McDougall Auctioneers, we're not just selling heavy equipment, we're powering progress. Hi, this is Riley McChesney. Our online auctions bring together the best machinery and the biggest network of buyers. Whether it's construction marvels or industrial giants, we sell with expertise and a commitment to value. Choose McDougall Auctioneers for auctions that move as fast as your business does. McDougall Auctioneers, 1-800-263-4193, or visit us at mcdougallauction.com.
The all-new Sports Cage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Hey, we're back. Derek Bidwell, Barney Shinkerick here on this Friday, getting you into the weekend. A lot to get to, football in a bit. Let's stay on the hockey theme here, Bidsy. And we got preseason everywhere right here on the radio on 620 CKRM coming up at 5:30 tonight. Dante DeCaria is going to have the pregame show. The Regina Pats are in Brandon to take on the Wheat Kings. You can hear that right here. Other Sasky teams going at it tonight. We got the Saskatoon Blades making the trek up to Paradise to take on the Raiders, and the Moose Jaw Warriors are in Swift Current. 7 o'clock, both of those Sasky games. Puck drop. In the SJHL, Bids, we have the rivalry game. I want to get to one of these regular season this year. Yorkton is in Melville. Melville, that I went into that new rink last year in Melville for the first time. Was it the CN Community Center, something like that? A beautiful facility. They really did it up right in Melville. But a full slate of games in the SJ tonight, Bidsy, besides Yorkton and Melville.
Yeah, well, first off, I wanted to ask you, just going back to that very quickly, that Melville Arena, I've heard a lot about it. Is it just the right size, like for
Perfect.
that league?
Perfect. It is. It is. Yeah, I would say when that thing gets full and rocking, it would be awesome. Yeah. Like a lot of SJHL rinks. Oh, now you're going to put me on the spot. I'm going to guess 2,650.
Wow.
Someone from Melville text in the Capital Ford Lincoln text line. How far off am I? 936.
The over-under.
936-62-62. Yeah, what are the other games in the SJ, though?
Okay, so besides that Melville one, of course, we have Nipawin in La Ronge. La Ronge still looking for the first win of the season. My brother-in-law, Kevin Kaminsky, not too happy. 0-2 to start things out there. Battleford, that program going with a new coach this year, of course, after Klamosko moved on to Humboldt. They're hosting Kindersley. Melfort, is in Humboldt, and Estevan Weyburn. And then who else do we have? That's it, I think. Oh, no, Flin Flon.
It's pre-season. So SJHL season, regular season, a week away for all you SJHL fans out there. We're going to be keeping things tight here and letting you know how it's all going in the SJ. So you mentioned my shirt. Yeah, I'm a big concert music shirt guy. We got a text message in here. Someone watching the stream said it looks like you rolled their grandma. The blouse that you're wearing today. If anyone's watching at sportscage.com, hey, I like it. I that's a nice. I could get behind that on a golf course.
It's tropical.
A nice short pant. Yeah, it would look really nice. The other thing about sportscage.com we want people to go to today as we get ready to talk football and U of R Rams football with the Riders on the bye week. There's only 3 games this weekend starting tonight, but we have a little poll at sportscage.com today. Curious to find out what people think. Who is the best team in the CFL's West Division right now? You can go on there and vote. Sportscage.com. You'll see it on the right side. I know we are the official broadcaster of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, but posing that question to you, Bidsy, right now, who is the best team in the CFL's West Division?
Well, I think you got to go with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I think Michael Shea has those guys rolling all in the right direction right now. They had that terrible starter, that off start for the Bombers, but now they all seem to be pulling on the rope at the same time. And he's such a great coach. I think that they probably are my pick for the ones that have it all going in the right direction right now. If there was to be a team that I would not want to face one game right now, it would be the Bombers.
See, I just don't know how durable the Bombers would be, but that might be the consensus pick. If people are picking, I guess not with their heart, maybe it will be the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but I don't mind the Edmonton Elks, one of the hottest teams out there in the West Division. So you can have your say at sportscage.com. Let's football talk. We get into it right now. Colson, Curtis, can we go right now? Okay, let's keep it going. Like we said, the U of R Rams, they're an absolute buzzsaw right now. They are 2-0 to start the season, and they take on the UBC Thunderbirds tomorrow afternoon at Mosaic Stadium. Tarek Polias is joining us on the Sports Cage right now from the U of R.
How you doing?
Yeah. What? So let's go through this. 2-0. Now a chance to test yourselves against the UBC Thunderbirds tomorrow. This could be the obvious question, but the mood with the squad must be super positive, upbeat. Everyone's jacked.
100%. Like, we're going into this game. Coach give us a game plan. Everyone's going to execute the game plan tomorrow at 2 p.m. We don't worry about no other team. We only worry about us tomorrow.
What's worked so well? Let's maybe go first off on the defensive side of the ball. What's worked so well for you guys?
What works so well for us is a game plan. Coach asked for us. Coach Gray, Charter, Bruce. Like, we go over the plays every day. Each team we have a different game plan, and that's what works for us.
Tarek, talk about your D-line. I had the privilege to call your first home game, and it was that victory over the U of S Huskies. Congratulations to you guys winning the Battle of Saskatchewan. But your D-line, including you, man, you guys were dominant. Maybe just talk about that group of fellas and how you guys played.
Well, going to this game, like, they had a lot of talk about the Huskies going to come down here, give us an ass whooping. That was, a lot of conversation about the Rams this, the Rams that. We just came in. We came together, the front set. We came together, told coaches that, we're going to go to this game. We're going to own the rock. Now we're the top of Saskatchewan. The Huskies ain't, I'm not going to swear on camera, but the Huskies ain't it. So we're winning that game with that mentality, and we just came over for a win.
Oh, I like this guy's attitude. Sign this guy up. Whoever's got his rights. Okay, what are we thinking for UBC here? What they're coming in here? What is UBC more specifically? I guess the offense. What are you seeing on tape? What do they pose?
Well, they throw a lot. They have a really good passing game, but as I said, we're not worried about UBC. D-line's locked in. Linebackers are locked in. DBs are locked in. Coach has been locked in. We're about to go to this game and show them who the Rams really are.
Okay, you go ahead, Bidsy. I got one more to wrap up with him. I got one I want to ask him.
Okay, I just want to ask because I've had a chance, like I said, to call one of your games and mention your name many times. This is an opportunity for me maybe to get to know you a little bit better. I sense an accent. Tell me about your story, and it's the start to now.
Well, I came from, I was raised in Toronto. I'm originally from St. Lucia. Started playing football, around grade 7-ish, back in Richmond Hill. Played for the Vaughan Rebels. Made my way on to King City, went to WTP. After that, came to the CJFL after a long trip of my football career. And came to the Okanagan Sun. Coach McConkey reached out to me, came here for a visit, never left.
That is awesome. Okay. To wrap it up, I love it. You're man. I'd like you on my team any day of the week. Who's your favorite football player?
I say Chris Jones.
Chris Jones. There we go.
Oh yeah.
There we go. Okay, let's go 3-0. Send UBC a message, and I can't wait to talk to you again, Tarek.
100%, 100%. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Right on. Hey, Bidsy. Oh my God. Yeah, you got this guy. You got this guy on the defensive side of the ball. You're an old defensive player in your junior days. That's the kind of guy you want right there.
Yeah, great attitude. And if you had a chance to see him play, you would know that he's one of the better ones. The U of R Rams D-line is not to be messed with. They are beasts. They look like they could almost be in the Canadian Football League right now. They manhandled the U of S Huskies offensive line at times. And Tarek was a name that we said many times. He looks like he's going to be a great one and exciting for the U of R program, man. They were fired up when they won that provincial battle. They should be, and great to see him out to that undefeated start. Hopefully they can take it to UBC as well.
He mentioned defensive coordinator Sheldon Gray. Going into week 3, they've allowed the fewest yards per game, 305, and the fewest rushing yards per game, 59.5, among the 6 Canada West teams. The Rams are also second in the conference with 4 sacks and tied for second with 4 interceptions. Nationally, the Rams are ranked 5th among 27 U Sport teams in total yards allowed per game.
They're beasts,
and second only behind Bishops in rushing yards allowed. If you're in the city, if you're around Regina tomorrow and you want to watch some great football, 2:00 kickoff, Mosaic Stadium, UBC and Rams. And if you can't go to that game, well, we got it right here. 1:45 pregame show with Brennan McGuire, and 2 p.m. is the play-by-play right here on 620 CKRM, the home of the Regina Rams.
Be prepared for what Mother Nature throws at us, because we never know what kind of wild weather is in store. Shorty Generators is authorized and trained to service all the major home standby generators, offering the largest selection of generators in Saskatchewan. Generac, Kohler,
Business, and they've got everything you need for your projects. They'll even deliver. Prairie Land Rental, 600 Albert Street. prairielandrental.com.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Radville-Weyburn area, call Darren and Claude at South Sask Builders, or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Grandma Bentley.
Well, hello, Otto. Diesel, what are you and your dad doing today?
We just got our oil change at Moose Jaw Truck Shop.
Yeah, Mom. Thought maybe I could take your car in for you.
No, you can't. Not unless you take me with you. You know how much I love their cookies.
All month, oil changes are just $37.77 for cars, $67.77 for trucks and SUVs, and $117.77 for European and diesel. They'll see you soon at moosejawtruckshop.com.
At Flamin, you have room to grow and take space, just like Jerry, who's thriving in a new role.
My name is Jerry Valkamp. I was originally hired on as a parts and rentals associate, and I'm currently a part of the aftermarket support team here at Flamin. One thing I really like about this company is that there's always a wealth of opportunities to grow. There's always opportunity to move around once you're within the business, too.
You fit at Flamin. To learn more about Flamin and our current job openings, visit flamin.com/careers.
The all-new Sportscage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
On Fridays, we are brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Barney Shinkaruk, Derek Bidwell with you today. Like we said, don't forget, 5:30, Regina Pats hockey is back on 620 CKRM there in Brandon. 6 p.m. face-off with the time change. Home opener for the Regina Pats coming up Saturday at home, next Saturday against Brandon. 6 p.m. face-off. And then the Regina Rams. Oh, is that going to be good football to watch tomorrow? 2 p.m. UBC. Like I said, Brennan McGuire is going to have the call right here on 620 CKRM if we're out there getting the crop off. Almost done, or if you can't make it to the game. 1:45 pregame show, 2 p.m. is kickoff. High school football, you're asking, we've been talking about this all week. Friday Night Lights, Sportscage style. We wanted you to send in your games, your hype that you wanted to hi@sportscage.com. Thanks to everyone who sent in an email. We had a number for a couple of games. The leader, definitely, going down tonight. It is a rematch of last year's 6-a-side 2A provincial final. Clavette in Watrous. Clavette won that one by 6 points. Get this, if you're out in the Watrous area, what is it, the Peppermill restaurant, something like that? I love Watrous. Shout out Gerald Merrifield and everyone at Mainline Motors. Brand new lights in Watrous this evening. So they're playing under the lights. You got provincial rematch, 6-a-side. It's going to be awesome. Clavette and Watrous. The other one that we got a number of messages for, Ituna in Southie to take on the Highway 22 Storm. Is the stream back up, Curtis? Okay. If you're watching the stream, I got a package today. I got mail. I haven't had mail in a long time. I'm not an Amazon guy or anything like that. Shout out to the Ituna Trojans who's in. If you're watching the stream, I got a brand new Trojan football hat. A nice little trucker mesh back hat. It's kind of really the only hats I wear. And then they threw in an Ituna Avalanche senior hockey team t-shirt as well. So this, if you send in your hats like this, they are going to be a permanent fixture here in the all-new Sportscage studio. Bidsy, do you see that there?
I do. I'm really jealous. If there's anyone that should be given to somebody, given to me, it's me. I'm Mr. Ituna. I went to Ituna my whole life, about 2, 3, 4 times every summer. Spent the summers out there working on the farm with my relatives, the Butchkos, the Bohutches, all the way out there in Ituna every summer. Loved it. Anyway, maybe I'll pick one up at the Trojans merchandise shop.
Team store.
Team shop.
They have the pop-up team store. I don't know if they're bringing the trailer down to Southie this evening for the big game. And so hold on here. Let me go. I got to go to the emails. The Lions Club, that's right. The Lions Club donating their time tonight in Southie, 7 p.m. under the lights. I was talking to Sharky about this. If I wasn't coaching football this evening, I would be making the 30-minute jaunt, door-to-door, basically, from I live in the north, to Southie to watch this, if you're in that area. 6-a-side, under the lights, the 20 to Highway 22 Storm, the Ituna Trojans. Ring-a-ding-dong-dandy tonight. So elsewhere.
I would be there.
Elsewhere, Bidsy, on our high school football soiree here. Tom Sheldon Williams tonight in Regina, and then the late cap is Balfour versus Luther. 9A style. You want 9A style, Bidsy? Moose Jaws in Lumsden. Maple Creek hosting Gull Lake.
Here.
Maple Creek hosting Gull Lake. Those two don't get along. That's going to be a good one in the Creek this evening or this late afternoon. Delisle's hosting Kindersley in 9A. 6A, as I mentioned, Clavette at Watrous. We got Assiniboia Davidson. Viscount is at Lemberg. That's another one I'd like to go check out. Lemberg. Priestville's at Briarcrest. And then Wynyard at Lanigan. Couple of senior hockey towns. I'm sure they got good football teams. And Weyburn at Yorkton. That's 12-a-side right there, Weyburn, Yorkton. So there's your high school football Friday Night Lights roundup. I got to mention yesterday when we mentioned Shaunavon was hosting Notre Dame. Official Kyle McIntyre texted in. He said Notre Dame, there was a lot of the hockey kids at Notre Dame, first time playing in a tackle football game. Isn't that cool?
Wow, that would have been real cool, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Shaunavon, just throwing a little tidbit out there. You mentioned Rhett Warner before. Hails from Shaunavon, the Warner family, and Haley Wickenheiser as well.
Shaunavon Shadows are always a nine-a-side football power. So it was 46-6 for the Shadows over the Notre Dame Hounds yesterday. We've talked about it. You never played it. I never played it. But six-a-side football, let's be honest. If you're an athlete,
wow, it's a lot of field to cover.
Have fun catching the fast speedster kid from town that just plays every sport exceptionally well, and then he goes and does that. Colson, you're looking at me. Oh, yeah. Are you waiting for me to pick some of these, or what? Do you think there's a spread, some sort of a spread? It's the all-new Sports Cage. If you're watching the stream, we're back up and running at sportscage.com. And as always, we are the home of the Regina Rams, 620 CKRM.
Rider Nation, the all-new Sports Cage is bringing you Cooperators Rough Rider football like never before. Now, for every home game, you can watch the Rider Radio live stream on our Sports Cage YouTube channel. Saturday, September 28th, the Riders take on the Red Blacks. The live stream starts at 10 with countdown to kickoff brought to you by Croft Electric. And we wrap up the game with a Sports Cage Radio Roundtable brought to you by McDougall Auction. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. And don't miss a minute of our Rider Radio live stream.
On today's farms, a generator is a necessity. Whether you need to keep operating during an outage or you need to bring power to a remote location, you need a generator from Shorty Generators. They are the farm generator experts specializing in standby generators, mobile generators, and prime power generators. For any power you need on the farm, Shorty has the generator to run your equipment, and Shorty can service all makes and models of generators too. Call them today and be prepared. ShortyGenerators.ca.
Not once, not twice. We give it the full triple check treatment. At eBarassa & Sons, we triple check inspect your New Holland equipment, saving your Barassa time and money. 1-year parts and labor warranty on installed CNH parts and 10% off when you spend over $10,000. You bet your sweet Barassa. We take good care of your equipment at eBarassa & Sons. Book before November 29th at ebarassa.com. eBarassa & Sons. When it's in the bin, bring it in.
For pizza lovers who are short on time and hungry for a great deal, Little Caesars Pizza is ready when you are. Walk in, grab your hot and ready favorites, and walk out. It's just that easy. Try the classic hot and ready medium pepperoni pizza for only $7.99. You get a delicious quality pizza at a great price. It's available all day, every day for just $7.99 at Little Caesars. And try other hot and ready favorites like their iconic Crazy Bread or Caesar Wings. Little Caesars Pizza, 20 years of hot and ready.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Strasbourg, Last Mountain Lake area, call Dean at Solid Works Carpentry or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Experience counts, and Louis Dreyfus Yorkton has over 150 years combined with their marketing team. The web portal, MyLDC, will keep you up to date from upcoming contracts to the latest canola bids and LDC news. Download the MyLDC app today and stay in touch. Call 1-877-782-8882. That's 1-877-782-8882. Or visit ldcyorkton.com. Louis Dreyfus Yorkton.
Whether Smokies after you or not, when you're on the road in your big rig, you're in a hurry to get to where you're going, and you need a part shop you can trust. Wolf Industries is the premium choice. They're your family-run truck mechanic shop with a full line of parts for big semis, with certified AC technicians for the hot summer. Stop in at their Grenfell location for all the parts and repairs you need. They're SGI accredited for safety inspections and have 24-hour emergency call-out. Wolf Industries, the best for your truck. 10-4.
Buy early, win more with the Hospitals of Regina Foundation Home Lottery. Get in now for the convertible and Cali bonus prize, or take $100,000. Be in for the Echo Lake Cottage early bird worth $775,000, along with $10,000, and the $1.4 million grand prize package, including the Ripplinger built show home and $25,000. Buy now at hrfhomelottery.com. License LR24-0046. Final draw November 1st.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
So we're getting a couple different answers when I was asking, or you asked how many people that Melville's rink would hold. And what did I say? 20. What did I say? 2650?
I thought you said 2,500, 2,600.
I said 2,650. I went with a real number.
Okay.
If we were playing Prices Right rules, I would be over, because we have one text message into the Capital Ford Lincoln text line that says 2,100 and one that says 2,300. So 2,300 of that beautiful rink in Melville. Melville, Yorkton this evening, SJHL preseason hockey. We're going to talk NFL in hour 2, and last night's game, unfortunate for you Miami Dolphin fans. One place that I always love watching a little NFL football when I'm up in Saskatoon, Wendell Clark's Bar and Grill. Shout out to Gary Baba and the crew there. They are streaming. They got the Sports Cage on live right now on a couple of their TVs, I think, anyway. So shout out to everyone at Wendell Clark's. Unbelievable fish and chips. They do salt and vinegar, Miss Vicky's chips in the batter, and that I'm getting hungry thinking about it. You ever been there?
I have. Yeah. I haven't had a chance to meet Gary. It was a long time ago, but great to see that they got us up at Wendell's. And yes, they do run a good, as you like to say, they run a good fish and chip there.
Babs, I know if you're listening right now, he used to own with Byron. They used to own the Bonanza on 8th Street in Saskatoon.
Oh, I like the Bonanza.
Babs, you got to have, once a month, you have to have a chicken Monterey special. Everybody loved chicken Monterey from Bonanza. That's the only thing my kids love that I cook at home is chicken Monterey. Hey, Dad, you making your orange chicken? Yep. So, Babs, how about that for a little Wendell Clark special of the month? Maybe a Sports Cage chicken Monterey once a month.
There you go.
A special. Oh, it writes itself, Bidsy. That's all it does here.
It's all falling into place.
Hour 2's coming up. Like I said, we're going to talk NFL, CFL, and Regina Thunder star Stephen Smith is going to join us. You're listening and watching on sportscage.com. And as always, the home of the Regina Rams, 620 CKRM.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. It's cloudy and it's 17 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Sherwood Co-op Liquor Store, now open in Harbor Landing and on Rochdale Boulevard, and by Mercedes-Benz Regina, for those who can. Mercedes-Benz-Regina.ca. The Saskatchewan Teachers Federation has voiced opposition to the government's decision to direct more taxpayer funding to private schools. STF President Samantha Beacott criticized the government for choosing to support privatized education, arguing that existing public school literacy programs, like the Science of Reading, have suffered due to underfunding. The STF claims this decision reflects a broader trend of underfunding public education, with independent school funding increasing by 79% since 2020, while public school funding rose by only 13%. Beacott has called for more support for public schools and students. Saskatchewan's Ministry of Education has teamed up with the Prairie Spirit School Division to pilot that new literacy program for 24-25. Supported by $170,000, the initiative includes structured daily literacy instruction and individual tutoring in 2 classrooms. Teachers will receive specialized training from Roadways Literacy Academy, an independent school in Saskatoon. The program is part of the Provincial Education Plan, which aims to boost student literacy. Both the school division and Roadways are hopeful that the collaboration will have a lasting positive impact on students' learning and success. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says Ukraine should be allowed to strike deep inside Russia. That's in spite of Russian President Vladimir Putin warning that the NATO military alliance would draw itself into war if it lets Ukraine make long-range strikes.
Trudeau says Ukraine must win in fighting back against Russia's invasion, or Putin will encourage other countries to try absorbing their neighbors. In May, Washington began allowing Ukraine to use American weaponry to strike inside Russia, but only for targets near the border being used to attack Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkiv. The Rocky Mountain tourist town of Jasper, Alberta is ending its state of local emergency on Sunday after a third of its homes and businesses were destroyed by wildfires in July. Jasper Mayor Richard Ireland says ending the state of emergency will help the town's much-needed visitor economy pick back up again.
As we shift to recovery, one of the important matters on which we are focused is striking a balance between the resumption of economic activity and supporting residents who are experiencing profound personal grief, loss, and anxiety, each in their own way.
Ireland says having the visitor economy return will be integral to the community's recovery process, since many residents trying to reestablish their lives are employed in the tourism industry. And Terry Fox and his legacy of determination against cancer is a legacy that continues 44 years later. The 44th annual Terry Fox Run will take place on September 15th across Canada. Fox's brother Fred praised the no-quit attitude Terry demonstrated during his 1980 Marathon of Hope, which still inspires millions. Funds raised support cancer research, with Fred noting that advancements in treatment and survival rates reflect Terry's vision. To register for the Terry Fox Run, visit run.terryfox.ca, search your community, and sign up. It's 4:03, and that was your 620 CKRM News. Weather is next.
When you shop at Sherwood Co-op, you're contributing to your community
while building equity and putting money back in your pocket.
Others may claim to be local, but Sherwood Co-op is truly local.
Rooted in your community for over 90 years.
They're a proud Saskatchewan company
who continue to support hundreds of community organizations each year.
Like the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit at the Regina General Hospital and the Cancer Foundation of Saskatchewan.
We are members.
We are owners.
We are Sherwood Co-op.
Style. Performance. Upgrade your daily driver to the new 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLB 250. This SUV packs a punch with features that make a normal drive exhilarating. The ultimate in automotive luxury can be yours for $419 bi-weekly. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Mercedes-Benz Regina will help you find the exact model you want. Take a test drive and feel the difference. Stop by for an award-winning experience at Mercedes-Benz Regina, recipient of the Star Dealer Award.
And now it's time for your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast for Line-X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and brought to you by Wolf Industries, your truck repair specialists in Grenfell, servicing all sizes of trucks, SGI accredited. Mostly cloudy tonight with a low of 10. Tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny and a high of 24. And on Sunday, mostly sunny and a high of 27. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's cloudy. Winds are from the southwest at 39, gusting to 52, and it's 15. Regina is cloudy. Winds from the southwest at 34, and it's 17. Get news and information anytime through the CKRM app or stream online at 620CKRM.com.
Whether Smokies after you or not, when you're on the road in your big rig, you're in a hurry to get to where you're going, and you need a part shop you can trust. Wolf Industries is the premium choice. They're your family-run truck mechanic shop with a full line of parts for big semis, with certified AC technicians for the hot summer. Stop in at their Grenfell location for all the parts and repairs you need. They're SGI accredited for safety inspections and have 24-hour emergency call-out. Wolf Industries, the best for your truck. 10-4.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-7 767-620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
We're back on this Friday. Barney Shinkerick, Derek Bidwell. All right, Bidsy. Let's go first. Let's go CFL. Only 3 games.
Okay.
Starting this evening, Friday the 13th. I forgot about the whole Friday the 13th thing as well. Which Friday the 13th movie was your favorite?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't know. I thought you were going to ask me maybe what was the horror movie or the scary movie when I was younger that really freaked me out.
Okay, sure.
I can't
Let's
remember
go with that one.
Okay.
Let's go with that one.
Started off with Freddy Krueger, then advanced to Children of the Corn, and then I think the last one I even watched was the Blair Witch Project or something. And then after that, I don't like jump scream movies anymore. I just don't dig them.
I want to feel. Colson, can you look up when did Blair Witch Project come out? I feel like that's a techno band from the 90s too. The Blair Witch Project. I want to say early 2000s.
99.
Probably around there. The whole thing was, the big debate was, did it naturally happen? Was it organic, or was this all set up? And people were like, no, I heard that really happened. And
so that was scaring a 25-year-old Derek Bidwell? Is that what we're going with then?
Somewhere around there, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. The Children of the Corn one, that really freaked me out too. Freddy Krueger, Children of the Corn. There's a few there. Yeah, that. And then here's the thing with me, because I lived in Richmond Heights in Saskatoon, which is near Pest Hill. Those that aren't from Saskatoon may not know. Anyway, I lived in this area. All my buddies lived in an area that was about 15-minute bike ride. A lot of times we would go to the movie store, get the cassette, get the VHS, go over to Rod's house. He had the new front-loading VHS. I had our nachos and our Slurpee there.
Shout out Rod.
Yeah, shout out Rod and his front-loading VHS. And then anyway, after it was over, most people just had to zip on their BMXs or Cool Harvest 7,000 miles an hour right around the corner and, like 3 blocks, and then they're home. I still had to go 15, 20 minutes home. I was 9,000 miles an hour through the streets. People must have thought that this kid's getting chased or something. No, he's just scared of the Children of the Corn that he just saw.
I'm going to trump in on that. And if anybody remembers this, there's one, Fort San, down here around the Fort Qu'Appelle area. You know what I'm talking about, Colson? It's like a sanitarium, like Fort San, whatever.
Yeah.
So in Saskatoon, there was one that it backed Holiday Park Golf Course, deep west side. It was literally 5 blocks. So there was a path in the back of it called Dead Man's Path. So we would go bike there as kids. And if you went at night, you started hearing some things and seeing some things. And then the sanitarium was condemned. This isn't part of the sports show, but I'm going to tell the story anyway, now that we're gone down this. So it would be so scary, and it was fall time always. And the days are shorter. All of a sudden it got dark. The sanitarium, somebody opened the door. So it was condemned. So as, 10 or let's say 13, whatever we were, kids on our bikes, we start exploring this sanitarium. Well, we saw some things that you can't unsee in there that people like. It was, and the worst, I remember walking into the morgue. So you're like 12, 13 years in the dark with your buddies at Dead Man's Path. So horror movies just hit different. I was like so paranoid. But one that stands out to me, the Friday the 13th, because we had the big old school satellite dish in the back, and you'd get movies once in a while. And I remember I was the afterthought in the family. So everyone and my sisters and everyone, they're watching Friday the 13th. Well, little Barney is watching it too. Well, tell about not being able to sleep, and then paranoia as a kid forever that Jason was coming, and then the lake made it worse. But the one that was sketch, Pet Cemetery?
Pet Cemetery.
Or what was the one, people out there, 936-6262, what is the one where the guy's Achilles gets sliced from the kid underneath the bed?
Oh, that would have me not wanting to set my feet down, getting out of the bed.
It was a Stephen King. It was a Stephen King movie? Someone will know, and they'll text in 936-6262. It's Friday the 13th, so we just kind of went off on a little movie tangent there. That's what's the beauty of the new Sports Cage is. Go with that. Last night, not a great scene in Miami as quarterback Tua Tagovailoa gets hit by, it was Hamlin too, from the guy who collapsed, technically died on the field a couple years ago for the Buffalo Bills. I wasn't watching the game, so I saw the highlights. I watched the last 5 minutes. I didn't hit the over, Colson, by the way. I needed any points on that last drive, and they didn't get any. But awful
Scary.
Pet Cemetery. Thanks, Kim. Shout out, Kim. It was Pet Cemetery. When you see that hit, Bidsy, as a football fan, as a former football player, I look at it as a coach now. What goes through your head?
Whoa. Very, very, very scary. So for those that haven't seen it, you can check it out in a variety of different places. But so what happened is, as you said, Barney, he was running the ball. Instead of deciding to slide, he tried to put his head down and fight for a few more yards. Hamlin got him pretty good and cranked his head. It was a completely clean hit. Yeah. The top of Tua's head hit Hamlin like in the chest, but he got the worst of it. Lands on the ground, and I'll try to describe it for our listeners. So then he just starts going into almost a bit of a seizure. His hands seize, and it's a sign of a neurological trauma known as fencing. And that it was very, very scary for all the players on the field, for the fans at home. And there are a ton of players not telling him what to do, but suggesting, because I believe this is his fourth concussion in the last little while, that he should really consider his family the rest of his life and these things, because that didn't seem like an incredibly hard hit. And for him to go into that hand seizing moment and that sign of a neurological trauma known as fencing, as we said, that was very scary. So lots to think about.
Third NFL concussion. And then now there's, I think I read the story, he had one at least with Alabama. But to your point, Bidsy, head coach of the Dolphins, Mike McDaniels, talked about this today, and people talking about, should he retire, should he quit football? Here's the head coach.
I think it would be so wrong of me to even sniff that subject, and it's more in line of actually caring about the human being. And that's something that entirely, you're talking about his career, right? His career is his, and that's something that I think I just really, really, really wish. I totally understand it, and it's not misplaced. I totally get how that's where people want to go to. I just wish that people would for a second hear what I'm saying, that bringing up his future is not in the best interest of him. So I'm going to plead with everybody that that does genuinely care, that should be the last thing on your mind, because you don't, like, what do you think? That's if I would answer that question, I'd be like, all right, this is my thoughts on his career. And he read it. If he agreed with it or he disagreed with it, either way, I've just made him worse. So I'm not taking this opportunity to just, I don't think it's appropriate, simply because of my care and regard. And I don't think those types of conversations, when you're talking about somebody's career, I think it probably is only fair that their career should be decided by them.
Yeah. Okay, so what he says at the beginning of that long clip is probably right. It's his career. He shouldn't be commenting or making decisions on it, nor should other people. That's what he thinks. My thing, if I had to listen to that guy in a team setting, and like we're going through our offense, and if that's how he talks, wow. Like, I don't know if he's tired. I hope he's tired, or the sativa police came by, or I don't know what's going on, but
he's
wow.
stuttering and stammering because it's such a sensitive subject, and he doesn't really know what to say. I think his heart and his head are conflicting there on what he should say. So I think that's why he's stuttering and stammering and coming across really monotone and all of that.
But you know you're going to ask
subject.
that. You know you're going to answer that question today and tomorrow and for the next week. Just come out with it. Like, maybe as much as a little bit of a D-bag he was, like Belichick would, it would be short, concise, we're on to it. Tomlin does the same thing. It's like, all right, here it is. And we're done. Not answering any more questions about it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's handle it and move on.
Yeah, but for him to say, should he quit football? Should he come back? A, it's way too early. B, it's Tua's decision. Mm-hmm. And now he's out a star quarterback. Like, sorry, Miami Dolphin fans. I know one hardcore Dolphin fan. Things aren't good. So
I know a couple.
Do you? Okay, I love their jerseys, though. Okay, so get this, Bidsy. 1952, the New England Journal of Medicine published a study on sports injuries, including football, and that stated that patients who sustained concussions more than 3 times should not be exposed to further body contact trauma. So that was the American Medical Association Journal of Ethics in 1952. In 2003, also found that experiencing 3 or more concussions is linked with worsened brain function in later life. That's scary.
It is scary, but it almost, how do I say this without sounding like a fonz? It should almost be common sense. When you take a hit like Tua did, and it didn't seem that severe, and you are seizing up, and your hands are locking up, and what we saw was so scary. Do you think it would be worse if you suffered another one, or do you think you'd be better off down the road overall if you never suffered another one? I mean, I think it just would be common sense that less of those you suffer from this point forward for the rest of your life, the better. I'm not saying he should retire. I'm just saying that when you get a lot of those, and especially how frequent they are, because I've had guys had to retire from sports, hockey and football, the frequency really weighs in there as well. And there are so many concussions that we've had along the way too. Barney, you probably had a lot that you don't even know or lost track of because we didn't make note of it. You got your bell rung back when we were younger. Oh, you got your bell rung. You got your bell rung. No, that was likely probably a concussion. So, yeah, when they're happening at this severity, this frequently, obviously he's got to be out for a while, but man, it's something you really got to think about. It's the rest of your life.
Reading that, what was it, from today.com, what I just read there, as a parent, scares the living, out of me. Mm-hmm. Like, and you look back, like you said, our era, our day and age, how many did we have? Like, as kids playing sports, wrong equipment, helmet not fitting properly, skateboarding, no helmet, BMX ramps wiping out, clunk on the back, the gravel in the back alley, jumping off a roof, something hitting you in the head. I remember my worst one as 16, 17 years old. 2 sea biscuits. Remember tubing? Seabiscuits back in the day? People out there that will know this. Shout out Seabiscuit, whatever happened to it. 2 Emma Lake. And we went flying. I hit the other guy's knee so hard with my head that they rushed him to Prince Albert thinking I broke his kneecap. I was knocked out. I was knocked out in the water.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
And I can see you got a big melon too. You got a big marble there, so it could cause some damage.
Huge head guy. Actually, I should put my Ituna Trojans hat on here. It's
not. You gotta save that for me.
It's
orange on a toothpick guy.
I have a normal size melon. Let the record show. Toques fit well. Hats fit well. That's one that I don't stretch out necks in sweaters. Dave Thomas will know that one.
I'm going to add this in though. really quick if I can, and this is my quick concussion story. You're talking about when we were kids. Well, first of all, sea biscuits, these type of things that, no, didn't have those. We had an inner tube from a semi-tire with a big valve sticking out there that always, you always got your leg cut on or some other parts of your body cut on. You had to watch out that was facing down into the water. Anyway, the worst one for me was going to Blades Hockey School. And my dad got me a new Titan hockey stick from Canadian Tire, Wayne Gretzky edition. I didn't want anything to happen to that stick. Oh, I love that stick. Anyway, he's not there. Trunk's open, though. My older sister's going to close the trunk. She wants to close the trunk. I don't know why. I throw my hockey gear in there, throw my Titan in there. She wants to close the trunk. I see that the stick is probably going to get caught and break. So I dive in there at the last second. Don't tell her. She wham! Closes my head in the trunk, just cranks my head in their big goose egg, knocks me out temporarily. You know what? Get bell rung. Okay, still go to the hockey camp. And then while I'm at hockey camp, I'm on the ice, I pass out. Wow. I pass out. So that was a really severe one there. And there are a few on the hilltops. But yes, they're serious stuff, man.
It's not good for him. Obviously, like I said, for the Miami Dolphins. And they lose last night to the Buffalo Bills. The Bills just have the Dolphins' number.
2-0.
They just can't get over. It's 31-10. The over was 42.5. So looking at, before we get to CFL here, looking at the rest of the NFL schedule, when you look at week 2 here, Bidsy, what intriguing matchups do you... Packers without their quarterback, Colts coming to town. That's an interesting one. I'm curious to see how Aaron Rodgers and the Jets rebound. Another road game for them to start the season. They had a tough one out of the gate in San Francisco against probably one of the top 4 teams in the National Football League. Curious to see how the Jets respond in Tennessee. Are you buying the Aaron Rodgers hype, or do you think he's too old?
I don't know if it's too old, because I'm rooting for the older guys, because I would be, right in their age group there, or even a little bit more.
You used a Titan 3020. That's why we got to shout out old guys.
Yeah, that's right. The old stuff. Yeah. I think Aaron Rodgers can still get it done. I'm just not an Aaron Rodgers fan. And that's just from him off the field. He comes across smug and know-it-all, and so I have trouble rooting for him. So, but extremely talented quarterback. I still think he can get it done. The matchup that I want to watch is New Orleans and Dallas. I kind of have a lot of buddies that are huge Dallas Cowboys fans. So as you know, it's kind of fun to watch them squirm and just the pain of their lives and just how much sorrow they have when the Cowboys lose. So New Orleans to beat them would be an interesting one for me. It would be one I'd want to watch.
Aaron Rodgers, talented quarterback. I don't know if he's over the hill. I'm really curious to see how this season plays out. The one thing, his press conferences, he's getting really weird. And, some people call it zen and all, like, I feel that he, like,
the wacky tobacco he takes in the off season.
Yeah, he sits on a weird kind of mat in the park by himself and like hangs out, and then he doesn't have doors in his house. He has beads. That's what I'm picturing.
Yeah.
When I picture Aaron Rodgers and
with a sarong, no shorts, just walks around with a sarong, makes everybody feel uncomfortable. No drawers underneath. That guy
doesn't reek football quarterback to me. What's the other one that I was really curious watching? Wow, I think if you're a New York Giants fan, what's going on in your life? Like that Daniel Jones.
Somebody to run the ship that knows what they're doing.
Daniel Jones, is he going to be able to do it? Cleveland Jags. Deshaun Watson looked not even mediocre. He looked awful. Jags looked decent last week, so curious on what happens there. So that's the NFL rundown, and then quickly CFL starting this evening, early evening here. We have Toronto, BC. Very, very. So do we got to root for Toronto now in the West? Is that what we got to do? Like, we don't want any West teams to win.
Yeah, that's right. I guess so. Yeah, because everything is so tight for us. Yeah, I guess we got to root for the double blue, the boatman.
Chad Kelly. Go out and get your Chad Kelly jersey.
Okay, there's the problem. Yeah. We're talking about rooting, not wanting to root for Aaron Rodgers. I'm not rooting for Chad Kelly. So Chad Kelly's had enough.
I just
strikes with me.
I can't root for BC. We need BC to lose. So I'm going to root for Chad Kelly. Sorry, I know he's a Fawns, but I'm going to go there. Then tomorrow, Ottawa, Hamilton. This is kind of the end of the line for Hamilton. They don't win, like, really. Well, I think it already is. And then the other game, Montreal, Calgary. Calgary doesn't win this one. It's David Curtins as well.
For sure, yes. And Calgary's had such an awful year so far. And, I was listening to Randy Chevrier in the Riders postgame show, and they were talking a little bit with him. Or was that with you guys? Sorry.
It was a Sportscage yesterday. That wasn't me.
Sportscage yesterday. Oh, that's Maz. Yeah. Getting
on Wednesday, Maz and Dave Thomas.
There you go. And I know Chevy a bit from my time in Calgary, and he was talking about that they have been spoiled, with having one great quarterback after the other. You could go back, there's Garcia and Flutie, even farther back, Burris, Bo Levi Mitchell in his prime for so many years. And now they're just in that funk. They don't have an elite, great quarterback, and it's really showing with the Calgary Stampeders record.
Okay, we're going to keep the football talk going. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Regina Thunder, off a loss last week. They're going to regroup, but we know they're going to regroup this week. We're going to be joined by one of their studs. You are watching the Sports Cage at sportscage.com and listening on the home of the U of R Rams, 620 CKRM.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Water heater and water softener rentals are now available at Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Instead of paying big money up front, you can rent a water heater and water softener directly from Bronco without the worry or hassle. They have a long history of renting water heaters and water softeners, and they're maintenance-free. Bronco comes and does all that for you. Saskatchewan's best water heater rentals are from Bronco. Call 306-781-2090. Professional, courteous service. BroncoPlumbing.com.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Radville-Weyburn area, call Darren and Claude at South Sask Builders, or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
On the farm, dirt doesn't just get under your fingernails, it runs through your veins. Your equipment is just as tough. You bought it for its rugged dependability and efficient operation. To keep your machinery running as good as the day you bought it, you want genuine AGCO parts, fluids, and filters from Nick Service. Their friendly parts staff has what your equipment needs to keep it running at the top of its game. Keep it genuine at Nick Service, your local genuine AGCO parts headquarters.
Are you afraid of losing your car or home due to debt? Don't let fear or shame hold you back from seeking help. Bankruptcy is not the only option. A consumer proposal can reduce your monthly payments, lower your overall debt, and allow you to keep your assets. My name is Jasmine Brown. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Regina, and I'm here to help you tackle your debt. Take the first step towards regaining control of your finances. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to learn more.
Tiny toppings and cardboard-flavored carbs are not what you get when you order from Western Pizza. But they haven't just perfected pizza. No, my friend, add Caesar salad to that list, along with satisfying garlic toast, baked lasagna, crispy chicken wings, and every other item on their extensive menu. Western Pizza makes food for hungry people. So if you're only kinda sorta hungry, you should invite more people. Western Pizza, big on toppings, big on taste.
You don't want to move cows that don't want to be moved. Instead of trying to move the cows to the water, just install a Keln Solar Livestock Watering System. With a Keln Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. Leave the cows where they are and move the water to the cows. Learn more about the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System at kelnsolar.com. Keln Solar, we move water.
APAS is there when you can't be. As farmers and ranchers, you need to fight increasing costs and regulation. But how are you supposed to be everywhere at once? You're busy with harvest, so you don't have time for meetings with politicians, presentations to committees, and tracking legislation that will affect your farm. This is where APAS comes in. Your APAS representative, the APAS Board of Directors, and the Canadian Federation of Agriculture all work together to represent you. APAS is there when you can't be. Visit apas.ca and become a member today.
With over 380 conveniently located cardlock locations, Co-op offers the largest cardlock network in Western Canada. Count on us to keep you fueled 24/7, right from Vancouver Island, British Columbia, through to Thunder Bay, Ontario, and all points in between.
Back to the all-new Sports Cage. Text 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Welcome back. All-new Sports Cage. Barney Schenker, Derek Bidwell here on this Friday, getting you in to the weekend. We talked about, even though the Riders are off this week, still some great football. We got all those high school games. We're going to run them down again for you. Shout out 6A, 9 aside, 12 aside. And then Sunday, the Regina Rams are back at it at Leibel Field, 1 p.m. against the Edmonton Wildcats. It's minor football day. It's like family day. Kids can wear their football tarps, and they're getting in free, gratis.
Nice.
Go watch the Thunder lay a licking on the Edmonton Wildcats. Mm-hmm. One of the I guess we're not going to call them studs. Let's call them studs. One of the studs from the Regina Thunder on the defensive side of the ball, Steven Smith. He didn't like that. I can see him in the video feed already. Let's bring him in on the Western Pizza guest hotline. Steven, sorry, one of the defensive players. We'll keep her like that. So again, you're coming off a loss. Let's talk about that first against the rivals from up the road in Saskatoon. That game. Does it go the way you guys expected? What would you change? What should, next time you play them, what are you going to key on, maybe change up?
I mean, obviously the outcome wasn't as expected, but I think guys were a little bit stiff at the start of the game. Obviously Saskatoon's a big game, and we were treating it as such. And I think some of the guys who haven't played Saskatoon before were a little bit stiff and a little bit worried, trying to feel out what the game would be like. And we weren't quite ourselves for the start of that game when we got behind, and we kind of chased the rest of the game.
Moving forward now to your next test, what do you take from that? Obviously, it probably gives you a little bit of motivation.
Oh, absolutely. And then we just need to get our swagger back, especially as a defense. Mm-hmm. The first two, we had 14 turnovers in the first two games, and then we've kind of fallen off a little bit. We're not capitalizing on every opportunity we have to take that ball away and make a big time play. And we just need to get back to ourselves.
How tough is it in the league, right? And we don't want to slight any of the other teams, but there isn't the parity that you see in a lot of other leagues. Like you guys, it's probably hard to get up to know that, hey, we the old adage, don't sleep on them. It's one game. They coming in here, they want to beat us as well. And then you play a team like the Hilltops, right, where there is that parity. As a leader on the team, how do you get the guys focused, and maybe what do the coaches do for you guys to kind of battle that?
As a whole team, we just try to focus on ourselves every week, no matter who our opponent is. We try to attack every practice with the mindset that we're going to get 1% better, and we try to pick one thing individually that we're going to get better at that day, and then we just strive to keep climbing that ladder every day.
So, referencing years past, where you are right now, how do you like how you guys are evolving? Obviously, there's ups and downs, peaks and valleys in a season. How do you like where you are right now moving forward? Because it only matters where you are at the end, of course.
I really like this team. I like the feel of the team. Guys were not happy with the outcome last weekend, and you can tell that guys want to get back to work. Everyone wants to improve, and we're planning on going the distance this year and improve every week.
So you're in a kind of a unique situation too, right? Like you get to practice, you get to be around the Riders. I think you maybe even played in the preseason game as well. Very unique situation for you as a football player. You just must be growing leaps and bounds just having that opportunity.
Absolutely. It's been amazing being able to do both and learn from so many different coaches and improve every day. When you have 2 practices a day, when you pick that one thing to get better at for that practice, you get another opportunity to go do it at nighttime. So it's been awesome, and I feel like my game has improved a lot.
Who's the guy from the Riders that's maybe taken you under his wing, but that's maybe taught you the most, or you've learned the most from so far?
It'd be hard to pick one. I've been trying to listen to them all. They all are very generous. They all kind of, as you say, took me under their wing, and no one is afraid to reach out and show me drills before practice, after practice, work with me. They've all been great.
Were you a leader with the Thunder before, and then after this experience, did you find that you became more of a leader because maybe people looked to you because of your experience?
That's a good question. I would say yes, I was a leader before, but not quite to the point I am now. That's something that myself I try to improve every year and every day, as well as my on-field play. I try to improve my leadership. And being here, being able to watch guys like Thurman on this defense, I sit right beside him in meetings and just listen to him, the way he approaches other players and the way he gives his advice. He doesn't always speak, but when he does, people listen. And I just try to steal everything from them, even talking about leadership.
Are you at the point yet where you can stand up in the middle of the room and say, "Hey, we need to get our crap together here, Riders. We need to pull out a win"? Next week, just kidding. Hey, best of luck. I know you guys. You guys are going to be there at the end, like you said, right? You put it perfectly. It's all about where this journey ends and how you guys get there. Very well spoken. You can tell you're a leader. Best of luck this weekend, and let's catch up again, hopefully right before the final.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Right on. From the Regina Thunder, Stephen Smith.
Just Stephen Smith. No Stephen A. Smith. At first I thought, wow, who we having on the show today?
I can't even imagine being able to practice with the Riders and getting all that experience. Like, put yourself back in your Hilltop days.
First of all, that's a lot of football going on for a young man. But you'll take all you can get when you're that young because your body can take it as well. Super cool. One thing you'd have to do, and your teammates, especially the guys that you're really close with, they keep you in check. They keep you humble. Just so you didn't come to the Thunder thinking, here I am, I'm basically one of the Riders, so you guys should listen to me.
If you're watching the stream, Bidsy's flexing his traps right now.
I'm just trying to get swole. Trying to just fill up here. Looks like I'm allergic to bees and I got stung by a bunch of bees.
Fawns alert.
Yeah. Super Fawns alert. Yeah, just trying to roll the neck there, like getting ready for high school photo day. You'd want to just keep things in check.
Really cool what the Riders do there too, and letting him, I forget what the program's called, letting him be a part of it, learning so much and all that. And he'd be learning so much. Like we got Scott McCauley, Paul Dawson coaching there on just a wealth of football knowledge there. Really looking forward to that rematch. Now probably going to have to go and do it if there's some sort of playoff or meeting again with the Hilltops. Probably going to have to be on the west side there at, Saskatoon Minor Football Field now? I'm still calling it Gordie Howe Bowl.
I know. It's always Gordie Howe Bowl when I played, but SMF Field, Saskatoon Minor Football Field. Great concession there back in the day. Loved it. Okay, let's take a quick break. When we get back, we'll talk more. We'll talk more football. We'll tee up things. And don't forget, hour 3, Matt Dominguez. It's going to be a really cool interview with former Rider receiver, now living back in Texas, Matt Dominguez. This is the all-new Sports Cage. Shink and Bidsy, if you're watching the stream at sportscage.com and on the home of the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
When it comes to duct cleaning, call Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. They'll clean out the dust and debris that builds up over the summer. When you need protection, they offer a monthly plan for homeowners to get regular service done on their AC and furnace, as well as plumbing. And when it comes to furnace servicing, it's never too early to get that done too. Bronco will service your furnace and have you ready to go before winter hits. Consider it today, so you can rest easy tomorrow. Learn more at broncoplumbing.com.
Howdy, Wood Country Woody here. You know what's dumb? Not knowing if eggs are fruits or vegetables. Know what's smart? Regal aluminum railings on your deck from Wood Country. These babies come with LED lighting options that allow you to change the color and the mood at the touch of a button at the best price around. Regal aluminum railings from Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale. Shop online. wood-country.com.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality.
In the Fort Capel area, Melville, and Yorkton, call Calvin at 99 Builders.
Or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
The ball is snapped. He scans the field. He's going deep. What a play! Rider fans, make your own great play by going to riders5050.ca. You can now buy tickets for every game, home or away. And don't wait for the last minute. Get in on the amazing early bird prizes. Everything raised is used to support minor football in Saskatchewan. Support a great cause and just maybe score a big win. Get your tickets today at riders5050.ca and go Riders! Sponsored by ISC.
It's Power Bill Day.
This is Tim.
Hooray, hooray, it's Power Bill Day.
Tim loves getting his monthly power bill because Tim's power bill is teeny. Tim has a residential solar system from Keln Solar. It powers his home and excess power is sent back to the grid for credits on his Sask power bill.
Give me those savings. Yeah.
Get a teeny tiny power bill.
Just like me. Woo!
Get a quote on a Keln Solar residential solar system at kelnsolar.com.
Remember the Nightmare Before Christmas and Jack the Pumpkin King? I have a theory. What if it was Jack the Pumpkin Spice King? Him bringing gifts of pumpkin spice treats to everyone? Pumpkin spice lattes, fraps, caps, blizzards, yogurts, cheesecake. But what do all of these pumpkin spice treats have in common? None of these would even exist without Saskatchewan dairy farmers. Milk, cream, whipped cream. They're the foundation of what make up our beloved fall faves. So be sure to thank a farmer today. Look for 100% Canadian dairy products with the blue cow logo.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Len had questions, he talked to Brian Golly.
I was with the bank, but they're a little bit too big, a little bit impersonal. I was kind of looking for someone with more of a personal touch, and Brian's a good old Saskatchewan boy and a really good guy to deal with.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone. Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533.
I would recommend him to anyone.
Welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Connect with the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262.
Barney Shinkaruk, Derek Bidwell, welcome back. Friday Sports Cage. How about exciting tomorrow? All you Western Dressler fans out there, tomorrow's the day, Saturday in Hamilton, going into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame class of 2024. Colson, you were talking about this earlier. It was about a couple months ago that we had Dressler on, or at least a couple months now, when this was announced. The other thing too, though, does anyone know, is he going in as a rider or as a bomber or independent?
Independent. I haven't seen anything specifically. I'm assuming based on the way that the news has been spreading around that he's going in as a rider. But yeah, specifically to that, I haven't seen anything. But
yeah, like Bidsy, classic, right? With Dressler
I was going to say,
going in.
I would say he's got to go in as a rider for sure. I would be shocked if he doesn't. I'd be very disappointed. Obviously, he's a Riders fan, but that's where I think he he had most of his success, although obviously did very well as well with the Bombers. I think I was on the show the time that you and I spoke with him. At least one time we did, Shink.
Mm-hmm.
He was pulled over on the side of the road, I want to say somewhere in North Dakota.
Yep. Yeah, he sells.
And, spoke to him.
He sells prosthetics, right? Like he's in the medical sales industry. Neil Hughes, they basically do the same thing. Hughes does it up here. So yeah, shout out. That's to Dressler going into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. Again, that's tomorrow in Hamilton. Speaking of the Riders, Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation 50/50. You got to go to riders5050.ca. So this one's tricky because of the bye week. You have until Tuesday at 5 o'clock to get in for the early bird prize. Do you know what the early bird prize is this week?
Particular
Bidsy?
one? I know it's big, but I'm going to let you.
It's a Whistler ski vacation.
Have you been to Whistler?
What's that?
Have you been to Whistler?
No, I have not. I've been to Table Mountain in North Battleford.
Blackstrap, and me too. I'm Sunshine Lake Louise. I remember every year the Sasky boys would all get together, big ski trip. Sunshine Lake Louise. We'd go there with our leather jackets on, our high school leather jackets, and our jeans, our denim ski pants, and we would represent, and we would crush.
Fawn's plug too.
Yeah.
Skiing in leather jackets.
But we had Varnays on, though, so it worked.
This one's a little better than Tropical Inn in North Battleford and skiing Table Mountain. It's a Whistler ski vacation. It includes flights, 3 nights accommodations for 2 at the Blackcomb Springs Suites. 1 day lift pass, because if you're our age, 1 day of skiing is good enough. And then hit the tavern and the hot tub. Shuttle transfers. And if you don't want to go skiing, you can take $3,600 cash. You got to get your tickets for the early bird by Tuesday at 5 p.m. Riders5050.ca. High school football. We talked about it earlier. If you're we got to get the people that are just tuning in now. We got an awesome hat and shirt delivered by the Ituna Trojans. Thank you. We're going to put it up here in the new Sportscage studio. Ituna Trojans, it's one of our Friday night lights game tonight under the bulbs in Southie. The Highway 22 Storm welcoming Ituna 7 p.m. We also got Wynyard at Lanigan, Priestville, Briarcrest, Viscount at Lemberg, Assiniboia at Davidson. In 9A, Moose Jaws in Lumsden. I think that game would be going on right now. Give us an update, 936-6262 if you know the score out in Lumsden. Gull Lakes in Maple Creek.
I love our music bed, Shink. I just have to say, turn it up a little bit. Even the high school bands in the background.
Delisle is hosting Kindersley, and then Regina High School tonight. Tom, Sheldon Williams, and Balfour and Luther got the late one. Now, our Friday night lights game of the week for the Sports Cage is in Watrous. Clavette, Watrous. It is a rematch of last year's 6-a-side provincial final, and it is under the lights, brand new lights in Watrous.
Oh, it's going to be a big evening. Now, what are the names of those two teams? Do we know?
No.
Oh. Are we going to guess again? I know I listened another time. I liked your guesses, Shane.
I heard we're not allowed to play the guessing game for high school football teams again. I thought it was a great game. I understand. We got a note. We got a note saying don't do this again.
Okay, we got our hands slapped for that. Okay, we won't do that.
If you're in the Watrous area tonight, maybe you're heading out to Manitou for the weekend, or if you're going early to catch the Via train, because that's one of the only stops, or it used to be anyway, was Watrous. Go watch Watrous and Clavette, a rematch, 7 p.m. Love the high school football. All over the high school football. Ituna, Trojans, thanks so much. What's the guy's name here that sent it in? David.
I might be related.
David Rencass. Are you related to the Rencass boys?
No, but good quality folks from Ituna. I'm the Butchkos and the Bo Hutches.
They mentioned they sent in a little sheet here. So they are opening up a brand new rink in Ituna.
Yes, I know.
And
it's a big deal.
They're doing. You can keep the music going. Yeah, shout out online auction they're having right now. It's ending September 23rd. It's posted through Double R Auctioneering in Ituna. So you can go on, what is it? Like a zero-turn lawnmower auction. It's all for the Ituna Arena, so they can get things fired up. They're hoping to open in November. They got Baba pinched pierogies in the cafeteria in Ituna. If Gary Baba's still listening at Wendell Clarkson, Saskatoon, maybe you want to hook up with David. Maybe get your pierogies. Get him to come straight from Ituna. There's another marketing thing. Straight from Ituna.
Oh, they'd be big. Yeah, they'd be authentic. I was actually in Ituna as well, Shink, when they did the Kraft Hockeyville promotion, and we were there covering it live. We were there live, and unfortunately, Ituna came in second. They didn't get the big prize, but sounds like they're going to get their rink anyway because of the good people of Ituna.
Because Kraft Hockeyville is an absolute scam for Saskatchewan. We went through this.
Yeah, we get hosed.
Saskatchewan's never won it, and some poor town's going to fall for it again this year. They're going to put in there. They do still get a little bit of scratch. But I'm calling it out. Kraft, Hockeyville, a scam for Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan always gets a raw deal.
We do. We really needed the one in Ituna, but at least they got the arena anyway. They got $25,000 instead, but that was a far cry from what they could have got if they would have.
If you want your high school football game on this program next week, hi@sportscage.com is the email. We'll give it the love, just like we're doing it for Clavette and Watrous this evening, and also Highway 22 Storm hosting Ituna. Perfect. All right. Do we got another break yet? Colson's saying another break. You're watching us on sportscage.com, and you're listening on 620 CKRM.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist.
For a couple of hours, we're going to take you back to the year 1998 and relive some of the greatest country songs from this time period, and we hope you spread the word.
The Country Music Rewind with Colin Lovequist. Brought to you by Crawford's No Frills. Saturday afternoons at 4 and Sunday afternoons at 1 on Country's Greatest Hits. 620 CKRM.
Hi everyone, Sean here with Young's Equipment, your MacDon header headquarters in southern Saskatchewan. New or used, red, green, or yellow, whatever drives your farm, Young's Equipment has the MacDon header to lead the way. With MacDon's industry-leading Flex Draper technology, an FD Series header ensures your smoothest and most productive harvest yet. No matter your color, Young's has your header. Young's Equipment, leading the way in a thriving agricultural community.
For pizza lovers who are short on time and hungry for a great deal, Little Caesars Pizza is ready when you are. Walk in, grab your hot and ready favorites, and walk out. It's just that easy. Try the classic hot and ready medium pepperoni pizza for only $7.99. You get a delicious quality pizza at a great price. It's available all day, every day for just $7.99 at Little Caesars. And try other hot and ready favorites like their iconic Crazy Bread or Caesar Wings. Little Caesars Pizza, 20 years of hot and ready.
Pizza! Where's it from?
Kids, it's not delivery, it's...
No, it's definitely delivery. It's from Western Pizza. Mama's had a long day, so she ordered online, poured a glass of happy, put her feet up, and waited for the doorbell. There's also Caesar salad, lasagna, chicken wings. Oh, I got lots, so we can have the leftovers tomorrow. And the next day? Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste, big on convenience. Get it delivered today.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Fort Capella area, call Calvin at 99 Builders or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Freeze Tallman dares you to dream of a stunning deck. Freeze Tallman Lumber has everything you need for your dream backyard deck, including brown-treated lumber, a large variety of composite decking, aluminum railing, and more. Plus, Freeze Tallman offers a safe and reliable delivery service right to your backyard, cottage, or anywhere in southern Saskatchewan. Come check them out online at freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
down here at Heartland Livestock Moose Show. We're still selling cows and bulls every Thursday. As we get ready for the fall run, these cow prices continue to look very promising. Our first Char Sim pre-sorted sale is September 24th, and the first red and black Angus pre-sorted sale is October 1st. These sales always seem to fill up fast, so make sure you don't miss out on the bookings. Make sure to check out our Facebook page and website for any updates. Don't be afraid to give us a call at 692-2385. Get top dollar for your cattle and get them sold at Heartland Livestock Moose Jaw.
Right now, get 40% off Crave with a 6-month plan. And this September, watch the must-see premiere of the new HBO original, The Penguin, starring Colin Farrell. It's just the beginning. Crave is also home to the latest blockbusters, including Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Plus, it's the only place to stream your favorite shows like Friends.
Loving this.
Get 40% off Crave with a 6-month plan. Offer ends September 19th. Terms apply. Learn more at crave.ca/September offer.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. MunicipalHail.ca.
Take in the Southie Summer Market every Sunday from 10 to 2 until the end of September. A variety of local vendors with baking, jewelry, clothing, and more. Find them on the junction of Highway 6 and 22 as you enter Southie. The Regina Thunder Dinner of Champions is coming up September 26th at the Connexus Arts Center. Enjoy a great dinner and President's Fireside Chats with Riders CEO Craig Reynolds and CFL Commissioner Randy Ambrosi. Tickets at ReginaThunderDinnerOfChampions.com. And Saskatchewan Women in Ag bring you Connect, the Heart of the Farm Conference, November 7th and 8th at the Sheraton Cavalier in Saskatoon. Plenty of guest speakers including Alana Cook and Brady Johnson. For full details and to register, visit womeninag.ca.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com.
The all-new Sports Cage is live streaming from our Century Studios in downtown Regina. Watch now at sportscage.com. Be part of the show by texting 306-936-6262. 620 CKRM.
Barney Shankeruk, Derek Bidwell, welcome back. We got Matt Dominguez coming up after 5 o'clock. Don't forget, we're done at 5:30 here tonight because we got Regina Pats in Brandon to take on the Wheat Kings. WHL preseason puck. Dante DeCarria's got the pregame show at 5:30. Puck drop at 6 o'clock. We're getting more people messaging in, giving us conflicting reports on the capacity of the Melville Arena. Somebody said it's on Wikipedia, though. That'd probably be somebody's way off here. Metro and Kamsack. What's up, Metro? 15 Hyundai. No, it's more than that. We got a 2300. We got a few 2100's got to be it, 'cause we got a few 2100s. Great barn. Yorkton, Melville this evening. SJHL preseason. The SJHL regular season starts next weekend. I'm going to go back to this Toronto BC debate because some people were texting in on that too, saying there's no way we can catch the Lions, so we need the Argos to lose for the crossover. And I'm like, huh? What do you mean we can't catch the Lions? They have 14 points. We got 11. Here's the BC Lions remaining schedule. Argos, tough one. Ticats, okay, walk over them. Stamps, yeah, by then they could be Checkoutville, definitely. Then the Riders and the Owls. So, okay, maybe I'm in buying that stock a little bit that we won't catch BC. You never know, though. It's football. Guys are playing for jobs.
Oh, there's still so much, though. The CFL's so up in the air, man. This has been a year where all of a sudden somebody looks like world beaters, and then the next week they can't even score a point. And speaking of the BC Lions, their offense looks like juggernauts against the Riders, and then against the Bombers they get 3 first downs and 0 points. So,
yep. Like I said, Matt Dominguez coming up after 5 o'clock. You are watching the all-new Sports Cage at sportscage.com and listening on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. It's cloudy and it's 16 degrees in Regina. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. And for Kevin's Marine, make the most of summer with a boat or pontoon from Kevin's Marine in Fort Qu'Appelle. kevinsmarine.com. The Saskatchewan Teachers Federation is calling on the government to reverse its decision to fund private schools like Roadways Literacy Academy. The STF argues that public school literacy programs, such as the Science of Reading, are already in place but underfunded. STF President Samantha Beacott criticized the move, citing a 79% increase in funding for private schools, compared to just 13% for public schools since 2020. The STF claims public school students are being neglected and urges more investment in public education to address critical needs. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau says it's up to Air Canada and the union representing its pilots to reach an agreement to avoid disrupting travelers and businesses. Speaking at an event in Quebec, Trudeau says his government isn't going to come in right now to fix it.
We have and we will protect the Canadian economy, but first and foremost is putting all the pressure on the people who need to feel that pressure, unions and the employers, to figure out how not to hurt Canadians and the Canadian economy by getting to the right place.
The airline and pilots will be in a position to issue a 72-hour strike notice or a lockout as of Sunday, which could lead to a full work stoppage as soon as Wednesday. The Saskatchewan government has announced more than $25 million in funding to support 13 projects focused on reducing greenhouse gas emissions across the province. The money is to go through the Saskatchewan Technology Fund. The province says these industry-driven projects are expected to reduce the equivalent of about 4.5 million tons of carbon dioxide. A verdict in the lengthy criminal trial of two Freedom Convoy organizers could be as much as 6 months away. The trial for Tamara Leach and Chris Barber came to a close today after more than a year. The pair are both accused of mischief, intimidation, and counseling others to break the law for their role in the disruptive 2022 protest that brought a massive convoy of big rigs to Ottawa. Justice Heather Perkins McVeigh says she can't say when she will be able to deliver a decision due to the volume of evidence and legal questions in the case. And the Apple TV Plus spy drama Slow Horses goes into Sunday's Emmys telecast with 9 nominations. Star Gary Oldman says the success of that show has raised his public profile.
More people are now coming up to me and saying, "Oh, I really like the show." Or what I get now is sometimes, "You're that guy, aren't you, on TV?"
It's 5:03, and that was your 620 CKRM News. Weather is next.
Summer's here, and if you want to have the best one yet, you'll need a boat from Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Right now, they are putting folks on the water with the lowest prices of the year, including manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a fantastic selection of Lund and Four Winds boats, and pontoons from Crest and Harris. Now is the time to save big bucks and enjoy summer. Big savings, big fun, all at Kevin's Marine. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
With the success of the recent Apollo space flights, man has been brought another step closer to the moon. Aboard these flights, 3 astronauts, and with them, top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features.
Houston, we've got no problem at all. We're loving these smartphones that we got at Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer's biggest role isn't in the space program. It's right here on Earth, in Fort Quappel, or online at echosound.ca.
I'm Corey Atkinson with your 620 CKRM Precision Weather Forecast, brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks, 1865 McCarra Street, and for Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all electrical needs. CroftElectric.com and all socials. Now here's Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
The shower threat remains minimal, but there are a few around into the evening hours, and then things just mostly cloudy overnight. Still breezy, though we've seen the strongest winds of the day, and they will gradually diminish through much of the night. Gusts up to around 45 at times through the early evening, and then 35, and finally the gusts ease up as sustained winds just take over through the day tomorrow, 15 to 30. Overnight low down to around 10 and 24 is the high tomorrow, partly to mostly sunny sky. Partly cloudy for Saturday night with a low of 13, and Sunday mostly sunny with a high of 27. The wind does pick back up just a bit through the afternoon. Not so much sustained winds. They stay in the 15 to 30 range, but later afternoon, risk for a couple of higher gusts. Partly sunny sky into Monday, too. Noticeably more cloud cover late in the day. Chance for some showers, not so much during the day, more into the evening and especially later nighttime Monday night. Tuesday, some scattered showers as well. 27 on Monday, 25 the high on Tuesday. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
Across the province at this hour, Saskatoon is 15, Swift Current 11, Assiniboia 15, Yorkton Melville 21, Moosomin Broadview 20, Estevan 21, and Weyburn is 19. At this hour in Moose Jaw, it's cloudy, winds from the southwest at 37, gusting to 48, and it's 15 degrees. Regina is cloudy, winds from the southwest at 29, gusting to 46, and it's 16. Get news and information anytime through the CKRM app or stream online at 620ckrm.com.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents the all-new Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Nelson Homes, supplying home packages and RTMs for over 65 years. Be a part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The all-new Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
All right, welcome back to the all-new Sports Cage. Last half hour here. Don't forget, Regina Pats hockey is coming up at 5:30. Dante DeCaria. Little pregame show action before the Pats take on the Brandon Wheat Kings. We're almost getting ready for the start of the regular season. A couple more pregame or preseason games for the Pats. No Riders, obviously, this week. They're on a bye week. Be rolling back into town here this weekend, getting back at the practice field next week in preparation of the game against Calgary. But we do have some Rider flavor, former Rider flavor. These are always fun. Let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline right now. And we are joined by one of the Rider legends from back in the day. He was a pretty prominent guy in Regina for a lot of years, even post-football career. He was in the realty game. He was coaching kids. He was part of, a number of different things. Matt Dominguez, how are you doing down in Houston, Texas? Is that where you are?
I am currently in Houston, Texas. Yes, I actually live now in Dallas, but currently in Houston.
Right on. So let's give everybody an update. What is Matt Dominguez up to these days?
Well, I am a regional property manager at a real estate company. I have a team of 18, and so we have a lot of properties that essentially we buy, we rent out, and we sell to Japanese investors.
Right on. How closely are you keeping tabs on your former squad, the Riders up here?
I keep a generality. I know when they hired Mace, me and O'Day, we played together. So I was aware when, we came out hot, winning some games, and then also got onto a slide. So I'm aware of how it's going.
The thing about this year, Matt, like the parity in the league, probably not going to be a crossover to the East. Even going back to your days, I don't remember. People can't remember the last time there was so much parity in the league. When you go back to your time with the Riders, do you remember like there was always kind of a couple of weaklings, so to speak, in the league?
Yeah, there was always some team that, for whatever reason, they just couldn't get it right. And in my time, it was usually Hamilton. Hamilton was a pretty terrible team at that time. But, it's going to happen once you get an influx of talent, Canadian talent, U.S. talent, this dispersed throughout the league. You're going to see some of this parity.
Do you, now that you're down there, and I know your kids are into football and that, like, do you ever talk to people that are maybe coming up, either it's coaching or players, about the CFL and maybe give them an education if they're asking about it?
Yeah, absolutely. It pops up all the time. Just like hockey is Canada's priority, football is the U.S.'s priority, right? And so, with my job, I talk to a lot of people throughout the region, and football just comes up. And, I still look like I can play a little bit. So, it just comes up naturally. And I said, I played Saskatchewan for a bit. So the CFL pops up quite a bit. And, so I always had to talk through some of the different rules and some of the points. It's always going to be, there's always a little bit different when it comes to American rules versus Canadian rules.
How do you explain the Canadian game? Obviously, weather comes into play. The rules are different, and a lot of people don't know, because there's ballers up here, right? You talk to yourself or a lot of guys that spent time in the NFL. How do you? I don't want to say sell the league, but how do you explain it to them?
Well, it's like everything else. You tell somebody that you played in Canada, the first thing they think of is the coldest place ever in life, ever, right? I tell people I live in Texas, and they think everybody's got a horse and like a oiled derrick, right? But, they ask, and I go, well, this Canadian football, they start earlier. We started in May, so it's not igloos, right? But there's only 2 domes. When it's -30, you'd like to have like 4 or 5 domes to play, right? But, it's fun that way. There's enough teams, there's enough interest that it's going to be around for a while.
Let's go back to when you first were coming to Saskatchewan. What were your, first off, how did you get to the Saskatchewan Roughriders? Was it an agent? Was it a tryout, or somebody call you? And then what was your first memory of getting to Regina?
So I tore my knee. So I was with the Denver Broncos, and I tore my knee, and I was out of football for a year, and I just wanted to play. My agent goes, well, look, you need more film on you playing wide receiver at a high level, or not playing tight end, because at the Denver Broncos, I played tight end. So he said, look, we can go to the CFL for a year, then maybe come back to the NFL. And so I literally got married and went to a tryout like 2 days later, and there in Texas, did great. I met a bunch of guys. Reggie Hunt, who now is one of my friends, who lives like 20 minutes from me. O'Day was there. Shivers was there. Danny Barrett was there. So I met a bunch of these guys at that time. Didn't know who they were. But my first memory was, once I signed my contract, my wife was like, there's no way you're going to go up there without me. We just got married. So we drove at a time where I didn't know if I was going to make the team. I said, the hell no. We're gonna burn the boats. We're going. So we packed everything we had into our car, pulled her car, and my first memory of Saskatchewan was we got pulled over in Estevan because we went through the city doing, I think it's 40 miles an hour and not 40 kilometers an hour. So we got pulled over immediately. And now they let me slide because I told them I was playing for the Riders. That's why I didn't look like I was from here. The license plate said something else. They let me slide. But I had to produce my contract to confirm that I was with the Riders. But that was really my first. And then when we drove into Regina, as you come in the highway, there's a Walmart right there. So my wife was like, "Oh, there's a Walmart. We'll be okay."
Oh, that's classic. So right. Did you grow? I guess closely. Who was your closest teammate immediately? Like, who did you have a bond with when you go back?
Ooh, so my first few years, Travis Moore was an older receiver who had been in the league for a minute. I knew nothing about the league, and so he kind of took me under his wing. Some of my favorite people to play with at the time, DJ Flick. DJ Flick, if I had grown up with DJ, he would have been my best friend. He was awesome. I was there when Fantus came through, Vandy Fantus' first year. that guy right there, he was going to be good. He was always going to be good. And even Wes Cates and Reggie Hunt were kind of ancillary friends. But after I retired, we spent more time with guys like Scott Schultz, Cates, Hunt, those dudes on the road. My roommate was Marcus Crandall, the quarterback. So we had all these dudes, that were like chill guys and kind of my speed.
That's awesome. Okay, so we've had some questions. We've asked. Obviously Doubles is on quite a bit. Cornegay, Fraser, all these guys. Now, who was the guy that you loved going up against in practice? That was on the team. That maybe that defensive back, somebody on the defense that you loved going at because you're a competitive guy, right?
Right. Omar Morgan. Okay, but it's not going to be what you think. When someone says that, it's like there's going to be a heightened sense of competition because they want to win and I want to win, and it's the exact opposite. I love going against Omar because we were going just hard enough to get it off film. It's like we're brother-in-law on it. He was like, "Hey, I know you're going to do an out route, so I'm going to break. You run your out route, and I'm going to be next to you." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Because when it's a run play, I'm going to come locked up. So it's on film, and so we were doing it that way. We brother-in-lawed it. Now that was when we went team. When we would go team, it would be no holds barred. But everything else, me and my man had an understanding.
Oh, that's classic. Do you remember your first CFL touchdown? And can you take us through it?
I don't know if it was my first one, but I know it was early. It was not my first one. It was close. We played in Ottawa, and I ran a slant route. Caught it. It might have been 40 yards or something. But the reason I remember it was once I got into the end zone, there was this huge inflatable Molson beer can, and I went and stood right next to it, and I acted like I was drinking the ball. It was so dumb. It was on TSN. It was ridiculous.
Oh, that's good. 2007 Grey Cup. Obviously, winning is probably holding the cup and all that. But what's the memory of that game you go through? Because it was like it was an offensive struggle a bit, right? It wasn't the shootout Grey Cups that we've seen. When you go back to that game, what do you remember as far as the game, Matt?
So a few things. One, Bantus ran a dig route and scored at an opportune time. I thought that was awesome. And I hurt my knee, so I wasn't able to play. But what I was doing at that time was kind of coaching from the sideline. And, we had talked about that there was a kind of a soft area in there. We talked about how to run that route. But the main thing that I remember was towards the end of the game in the last minute or two, we needed to get another first down so that we could run out the clock. And Cates broke through. He got the first down, and then once we got that first down, there was no way to stop the clock, and that's when we knew we were going to win. And once he did that, and there's no way not to lose that one, it was like pandemonium on the sideline. And so that's what I remember about it.
That's awesome. Okay, before we let you go, I got to go back because you mentioned when you were with the Broncos. You were Broncos. Yeah, you were a tight end, and then you kind of switched to wide receiver here. Why was that? Was that just out of college? They liked you at the tight end position?
Yeah, Denver had at that time had some success with Shannon Sharp. And Shannon Sharp was not a huge tight end. Shannon Sharp was like 230, 240 maybe. And Denver's offense was two tight ends, one really big one and then one receiving one. We're going back 23 years, all right? So that was now everybody got a receiving tight end. And so out of college, I was, like 210. I wasn't big at all. And so I get there, and they immediately switched me to the U position, which is the small tight end. And they said, "All right, kid, you got to put on 20 pounds," which sounds fun because you're like, "I'll just eat whatever the hell I want to eat," right? But you got to put it on the right way, not just the fat guy way. And so I didn't care. I was just doing whatever I could do so I could get on the field. But yeah, that was a good little scenario. That was good to have hit my goal to play in the NFL.
What's your favorite, or what's the Mike Shanahan story that you tell the most in your time with him?
Well, we had a team party, right? It was a team party, and all the guys that came in his front yard and on the street. It was a huge party, but there was a valley area, and it looked like a damn car show. Like just every car you could think of was out there, and so we go in, and we go into the house. We went to the back, went to the house. And I was like, "Wow, Coach, this is a nice house." It was huge. It was like 4,000 square feet or something like that. It was a big, nice house. He goes, "Matt, this is my pool house. Go to the other house." So I went through the pool, and there's this huge palatial house. I don't know, it was like 15,000 square feet or something, and I felt like a dummy. He's like, we're in the pool house, rookie.
Did you ever have to block? Who was there? Like Bill Romanowski back in those days?
Me and Romo got into a fight in practice. Yeah, I did. And I immediately lost that fight. I always say, because he's a vet. So the first thing he did was grab my face mask. And if you play football, once somebody gets your face mask, they have your neck. If they have your neck, then they have the center of gravity. So I immediately lost that fight. Now, in my defense, I never lost that damn fight again. But Romo was something of somebody that was really, really aggressive.
And then a lot of people remember, then you did get a shot with the Jets. I think if they cut you right after exhibition season and all that, was that the right fit, Matt? Would you change anything with going to them in 2004?
No. The biggest issue is now veterans have a practice roster, right? So now in the NFL, they've expanded the practice roster to anybody that they want to do. They can have at any experience level. But then you could not have played more than 2 or 3 games. And why that matters is that I had started like 15 games in the NFL. So I had to make the roster. I could not be put on practice roster. So the reason I got cut was, although I had done fairly well in preseason, I didn't do well enough to make the active roster. They already had a punt returner. They already traded for a guy. They drafted a guy. Like every roster spot was picked up for the receivers. So there was just, no room for me. And, the fit for what they wanted was a boundary receiver, which is what I was. But it just didn't work out. Funny thing about that was when I got cut, they said, "Hey, don't go back to Canada because if something happens to our receiving corps, we're going to call you." Right. And I waited the mandatory 10 days. Nothing happened. And then I went back to Canada and started playing for the Riders. And 2 weeks in, Wayne Corbett gets a concussion, and they immediately called me. And there was nothing I could do. I was already committed to Saskatchewan, so that's how God works.
Wow, that's a cool story. Okay, couple of quick ones. What was your favorite pattern to run in the CFL? Something that you could always get open, you felt.
A go route. I could always run a go route because, just a vertical, just go. Only because, at the time I was always way bigger than the defensive backs, and although they were fast and quick, they were not as big as me. And so, as long as it was high enough, I don't care how fast you are. If you're not that fast, way up here, and that's when I would just go get it at the top of the catch point, and I would have no issue with the little guys.
What's the one, probably maybe the biggest thing you miss about just Saskatchewan and living here? It's not the mosquitoes and not the cold. What's the one thing?
It's people. It's people. We stayed, 15 years. We lived in Saskatchewan 15 years before we moved back. So I raised my kids for the most part in Saskatchewan. My kids are Canadian, and I've got lots of really good friends in Saskatchewan. I'm on a bunch of fantasy football leagues, and one of them is all Saskatchewan dudes. So it's the people, it's the relationships that we built over the time of living there that weren't just football relationships.
That's awesome. Well, Matt, this has been great. Rider Nation's gonna love hearing from you and catching up, and hopefully the squad, they turn it around, and maybe we can talk again in the playoffs as they make a run to the Grey Cup.
Hey, I would be awesome to come about and talk about the playoffs with you guys. Hey, one real quick thing. My youngest son, Marcel Dominguez, is Canadian. He's a defensive end, and he's pretty good. So in the future. He's a junior in high school right now. His day's coming.
National gets to play as a national.
He's a national, baby. He's a defensive end. So
I'm sure.
So pay attention. It's coming.
Yeah, O'Day, right? O'Day, all you guys got to listen to that. All right, Matt, take it easy. Travel safe.
All right, guys. You have a good one.
Right on. That's former Rider legend, Matt Dominguez. What a great conversation there. Derek Bidwell's going to be back. He's going to wrap things up before Pats hockey. This is the all-new Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
And there you have it. That was an interview with Barney Shinkaruk and Matt Dominguez a little earlier in the day. Wow, what a beauty. And it sounds like his son is a beauty as well, too. A national, as Shink said. So Jeremy O'Day and the crew are going to have to watch for him when he is finally eligible to come up here and play in Canada. And for the green and white, that'd be great. That's it for this Friday edition of the Sports Cage. The Pats and the Brandon Wheat Kings. Their second last preseason game gets started from Brandon, 7 p.m. Saturday, the Wheat Kings are in Regina in the Queen City for their final pregame at 6 p.m. on Saturday. And then Friday, September 20th, the Pats are at the Prince Albert Raiders to kick off their regular season. And by the way, the Melville Arena holds 1,524 spectators. We were talking about that a little earlier in the day. It is Pats hockey coming up right after this. For Barney Shinkaruk, Colson Schultz, Curtis Gammon, and the rest of the crew here at Sports Cage, you have yourself a safe and happy weekend, and look forward to talking to you again next week.
The all-new Sports Cage is brought to you by Business